Over the last couple years, I've worked with dozens of creators, from YouTubers with 10 million subscribers to helping creators get their first viral video. I've noticed a lot of interesting patterns, from viewer psychology to storytelling strategies and content modes. So to help you grow your channel 10 times faster, here are 30 simple lessons I learned working with 80 plus channels. Starting with lesson 1. If you have low views, 90% of the time, it's a broadness thing. I once worked with this channel that struggled to pull more than 10K views a video, in a niche where people were pulling millions of views, even though his thumbnails were pretty dang good and he had great intros and retention. And then we did one change and he started getting millions of views. You see, his videos were only appealing to a hardcore fan base, when they needed to appeal to both casuals and new viewers to get more views. The channel Veritasium explains this perfectly. If you make a video called The Strange Applications of the Magnus Effect, it can only appeal to a small audience. But if we change the angle to something like throwing basketball off of dam, all of a sudden it appeals to more casual and broad entertainment viewers. So to get more views, make videos that appeal to broader audiences. And this is just one of the 28 lessons in this video, with each point getting more and more interesting as the video goes on. Lesson 2. You ever been stuck trying to brainstorm a thumbnail for an idea? You spend hours but just can't find anything good? Well, I found why that happens and how to fix it. It's because bad ideas are hard to package. You see, the thumbnail is just a visual extension of the idea. If the idea is super boring or overcomplicated, the thumbnail is also going to be super boring and complicated. On the flip side, when you have a good idea, it's typically really simple and unique. Two things that are really easy to visualize in a thumbnail. So next time you run into this issue, take it as a red flag that you should probably come up with a better idea. Lesson 3. Most people think going viral on YouTube is either luck or skill, but it's actually both. When you first start YouTube, you have no clue how views or content works. So at this stage, going viral is 100% luck. But as you slowly learn over time, post tons of videos, and analyze successful content, luck goes down and skill goes up. So don't focus on views, focus on improving your YouTube skill. Lesson 4. So how do you improve your YouTube skill? I've tried dozens of different methods, and there's one I abuse whenever I can. When I first started creating content, I was stuck in an endless loop of posting bad videos. The videos didn't get views, but more importantly, my channel wasn't growing. And it stayed like that until the day I asked a YouTuber friend to brutally roast my videos. He pointed out dozens of issues I had never seen before. And that's when I realized everyone on YouTube has blind spots. You could be really good at scripting, but suck at thumbnails. You could think a specific edit is super strong, but it's actually just shit. And you see the same methodology with top entrepreneurs paying 6 figures to get mentored by billionaires. So the best way to improve is to ask someone better than you to roast your stuff. Lesson 5. The only way to get better is to upload. I can't stress enough how big of an impact this lesson has had on me. Even after working with massive creators, the times I learn the most is when I'm actively creating content and flexing that content muscle. So don't just binge YouTube advice videos, take their advice and post more. Lesson 6. Over the last 5 years, I've probably helped launch 20 different channels. And out of all those channels, only 3 or 4 actually ended up working out. I created a Google Sheet with the different channels and why they succeeded or failed. And the main thing you realize from this is that YouTube is not easy, but it's also not impossible. The successful channels always have 2 factors behind them. They post consistently for a long period of time, and they offer unique content to the market. So focus on posting consistently and offering unique content to the market. Lesson 7. I once had a client post for months with no results. His videos would not get views. I'm talking under 1,000, sometimes 2,000 views a video. And then we spent an extra 3 hours on just the idea. That video went on to get 1 million views. No crazier edits or content style, nothing else had changed. So spend way more time on the idea. It's the most important part of the process. Lesson 8. Know the process. I can't tell you how many times I've seen YouTubers build out entire teams of designers, editors, researchers, without having first mastered it themselves. You should be able to do every single part of the video process before outsourcing. That means knowing how to do the ideas and packaging, the design, the research, the scripting, the recording, the editing. And the reason is, how are you supposed to quality control what other people are doing if you don't know what good quality looks like? You'll just end up with low quality work, and even worse, no clue that it's low quality. So lesson 6 is master the entire process of making the video before you outsource. Lesson 9, delegate strategically. Okay, so we just talked about when not to outsource, but when do you outsource? Well, it's once you've mastered the whole process and know what good quality looks like. Analyze the stages of the production process you don't like and hire someone talented to do it for you. The way I do this is using a spreadsheet. You write down how long the task takes you, your skill level, enjoyment, and if it's a bottleneck for getting videos out. For me, I love coming up with the ideas, scripting, and then recording, but I suck at actually editing it all together. It also takes days to edit videos, so I outsource it to a team of talented editors. On top of saving time, this makes the video process way more fun. You get to focus on what you love doing while hiring someone else to focus on all the boring stuff. Lesson 10. I once worked with a YouTuber where we improved a lot of his content. Better ideas, packaging, retention, editing, but no increase in views. And it stayed like that for months. Until 6 months later, his channel randomly exploded. And that taught me a good lesson. Focus on the long term. Unlike other social media, YouTube takes time. People think they can come in, post videos, and build a massive audience in a couple months. It takes years. The average time it took big creators to hit 1 million subs is 4.16 years. That's almost half a decade to hit 1 million subs. That's insane. And keep in mind, this number has been inflated with all the channels gaining subs from shorts. Older creators like Mr. Beast and MKBHD took 7 years to hit 1 million subs. So don't think in months, think in years. Lesson 11, beware of the distraction trap. This is something that f***ed me up for so long. When running a race, instead of focusing on the finish line, the long-term goal, a lot of people run staring at the ground, distracted by shiny objects. They see random channels upload their first video, get 300k views in 3 days, and then think that's normal. They then look back at their channel and decide to pivot because their channel isn't growing that fast. But that's a trap. It's an unrealistic standard to expect immediate success every time. What you end up doing is consistently resetting your progress every time you restart from scratch. So don't quit or start new channels, pick a long-term goal and stick to it. Lesson 12. On YouTube, the best way to improve is by compound learning. Focus on learning after every video you post and then apply those learnings to the next video. I like to watch back each video and take notes on 4 things: the scripting, the editing, the packaging, and the content. Write down everything that sticks out, the successes, the failures, and then stick to what works and fix what doesn't. This creates a compounding effect where videos are constantly improving over time through execution. The more you post, the better your videos will become. Lesson 13. Find your content moat. Every successful channel has a unique advantage that makes their content appealing. It's a specific attribute that's really hard to copy. For Mr. Beast, it's the money. For Ryan Trahan, it's his unique personality. Cleo Abrams, her journalism experience. Rebound, their funny sense of humor. Mine is the experience of working with a ton of YouTubers. And your unique advantage is what stops people from copying you and creates a moat that protects your content from becoming oversaturated. When I was running this anime channel, we developed a content formula that worked, but we didn't have any unique advantages. So people came, they copied the ideas, the packaging, the editing, the writing. It completely destroyed the market. So find your unique advantage. Lesson 14. We've all seen random channels blow up with a one-off video. They get millions of views, but then completely die off because they can't replicate that success. And that's because they didn't focus on viewer psychology, understanding what works and why it works. We're seeing a similar problem now. A lot of people will see a successful video and just copy it, with no regard to why the video did well, why the packaging was so appealing, or even trends that made the video blow up. This creates a shitty guessing game of hoping videos will do well. Instead, break down why things work. It'll help you turn virality into a skill you can harness. Lesson 15, focus on substance, not setup. We've all seen these people with thousands of dollars of cameras and equipment post 1 video a year. YouTube is about the value of the content, not the quality of the production. I create these videos with a $50 mic, my phone, and a stand to hold it up. So yes, over time, you should improve your quality as it'll improve the viewer experience. But don't let that stop you from publishing videos. Focus on delivering value, not high production. Lesson 16, you can't fix boring. About a year ago, I was helping a creator post a video. We were experimenting with a new idea, and it flopped hard. We tried everything to fix it, changing the thumbnail, the title, nothing worked. And through that, I learned you can't make a boring video interesting. Pardon my language, but if you wrap shit in gold, it's still shit. Lesson 17, intros of 5 seconds to hook the viewer. This is one of the biggest mistakes YouTubers make. They don't hook effectively. When someone clicks on your video, you need to grab their attention immediately. This can be done by opening a loop with a question, showing a crazy visual, showing a problem, and then offering a solution. For this video, I wrote 10 different intros and scrapped most of them. But see if you can notice what's wrong in this scrapped intro. YouTube is hard. What videos should you make? How can you get more views? Whether it's bad videos or a lack of YouTube fundamentals, on YouTube 90% of channels fail. Did you see what I did wrong? In the first 5 seconds, I don't say anything interesting, so people are more likely to click off, killing the watch time. Lesson 18, title clarity over title length. Now you've probably heard from 100 different creators that you need to keep your titles short, but why is that? Well, there is a 54 character limit, so if you make your titles too long, they just won't show fully on YouTube. But the psychology behind short titles is based on clarity. You want to convey the concept of your video in the fastest way possible. And when you create a title that's both interesting and clear, you typically end up with a really short title. Lesson 19, everyone's videos fail. Look at Mr. Beast, for example. The most successful creator on YouTube ever. In 5 of his last 6 videos haven't performed well. 2 10 out of 10s, multiple 9 and 8 out of 10 videos, and it's the same thing with every other creator. You can't be perfect, you're gonna post videos that flop hard. Learn to accept that some videos won't work, and then use it as an opportunity to improve the next time. Lesson 20, YouTube is a volume game. Let me tell you about the time I worked with a channel that had over 10 million subscribers. They would brainstorm dozens of titles, thumbnails, and intros for every video, and then they systematically filter them down to the very best one. That's how the highest level creators work. Super in-depth planning, brainstorming hundreds of videos, and then picking the best one. An easy way for you to apply this is to record 2 intros in your next video. It's often hard to tell how good an intro will be until you see it. So record 2 completely different options, get them edited, and then cut out the worst one. Using volume of ideas is the best way to make good content. Lesson 21, and one of the best ways to use the volume strategy is testing multiple thumbnail concepts. See, a good thumbnail change can be the difference between 40K views and 1 million views, and it's one of the only things you can tweak after a video's been published. Now you probably know that you should have multiple thumbnail and title options for each video, but the big mistake I see creators making is changing small individual elements in a thumbnail and then testing that. The best method is testing thumbnail options that are vastly different, because small details aren't the highest leverage thing for a thumbnail swap doing well. It's the actual concept of the thumbnail that matters. Lesson 22, use shorts to test video ideas. This is one of the most underrated ways to find good video ideas. Take your next topic and create multiple shorts around the most interesting parts, and then post them on your channel and see how well they do with your audience. Do they go mega viral or do they underperform? These results should give you the data to see if it's actually worth making a long form topic around that idea. It's not a perfect strategy, but it is very helpful. Lesson 23, create a swipe file for ideas. If you ever struggled with brainstorming, it's because creativity comes in waves. So I like to constantly be on the lookout for creative ideas. Scrolling through YouTube, swiping through Pinterest, or even random TikTok visuals. Screenshot the stuff that sticks out to you, and then store it in a swipe file for later. Refer back to this swipe file whenever you're brainstorming new ideas. I have different swipe files for ideas, thumbnails, edits, and I've used this process multiple times for myself and clients to create absolute bangers like this or this. Also, a little bit of added context, I use Notion for my swipe files, but my friend Chris found a software called Raindrop, which allows you to click and save the thumbnail and title to any database. It's fucking OP, so check it out. Lesson 24, use outlier theory correctly. You might have heard of outliers before, but I guarantee 99% of you aren't using them correctly. See, outlier theory is finding massive videos that differ significantly from the videos around it. Like this video, which performs 62 times better than the videos around it on her channel. And the reason this strategy is so appealing is it allows you to find viral ideas that are already proven to work and that people find interesting. But the issue is more complicated than that. Most people just copy paste outliers in their niche or take outliers from other niches. And this is an okay strategy, but you're not using outliers to its full potential. The best strategy is taking popular outliers and adding a good twist, like this, or like finding a twist to this format of contrasting topics. Lesson 25, use visual hooks in your intro. Now we all know that after the click, we need to hook the viewer. And while we typically do this with what we say, one of the more underrated ways is hooking with what we show. I call this visual hooks. Interesting visual actions that grab the viewer's attention. The channel Hafu does this perfectly right here, showing multiple visual hooks in the intro to reinforce the topic. Lesson 26, change equals progression. You've probably seen this technique used countless times in videos and never noticed. See, when recording a video, a creator like Ali Abdaal will start in one room, and a couple minutes later, he'll move to a different room, and then a bit later, another area, before finally looping back to the first position at the end of the video. And the reason people do this is because change in videos gives off a sense of progression, aka changing the background makes the video feel like it's progressing. I've actually been using this technique the whole video, but you can also use it with physical objects and locations, like this Mr. Beast video, where he shows the room full of 100 dog cages get more and more empty throughout the video, establishing that same sense of progression. So use visual change to create progression. Lesson 27. On YouTube, your thumbnail and title give off certain expectations to the viewer, expectations of the content they're gonna get in the video. MrBeast packaging is super polished and cleaned up, giving viewers expectation that the content will be some high quality production, while this Ryan Trahan thumbnail is raw and unoptimized. It looks like an auto-generated thumbnail. So it sets expectations that the content is gonna be raw, him talking straight to you. You wanna confirm the viewer's click with content that plays into the viewer's expectations set by the thumbnail and title. But even MrBeast messes this up. This packaging sets expectations of some crazy ancient underground city. But when the intro plays, it looks nothing like the thumbnail. There's no building, no civilization, just a glorified amusement park underground, which makes viewers feel lied to. So for lesson 27, you need to confirm the expectations of your video's packaging. Lesson 28. On YouTube, some niches are way harder than others. You can spend 2 hours on a video, post it, and get 100K views. But that same video posted in another niche would barely get 5,000 views. The reasoning behind this is basic supply and demand. Both these niches have a pool of potential viewers. And even if one is bigger than the other, that also means that there's more competition fighting for that demand, making it a hard market to stand out in. While this small market might have some creators, but not a lot. So if you come into it with a video quality viewers have never seen before, you can capture a huge chunk of that market. And this principle applies to every niche and every audience. There's always a certain demand for content and too much or too little supply from the creators. Now, if there's one key takeaway from all these YouTube lessons, it's that there's always something to learn. Whether you learned a ton of stuff in this video or nothing new, the way to succeed on YouTube is to use these learnings to improve your content. But if you don't have time to study YouTube, shameless plug, but I recommend you check out my free YouTube newsletter. Last week, I covered the entire process of hooking viewers with only 3 words. I'll throw a link in the description. Peace.